Welcome back to this video, grade 12s. In today's video, we're going to take a look at question 11. It says, given a circle with center C, so immediately we know that makes AC and CE radii, so we know that they are equal in length. Then triangle ADE is given with coordinates D and E, that's on the diagram. AB is equal to BD, that's also given on the diagram, and F is the y-intercept of line BC. They just call it the line cut, but it's the same thing. We can see it's a coordinate on the y-axis. Then it says, state all the relevant reasons with your statements and prove that BC is now parallel to DE. So we've got three ways usually that we can prove that two lines are parallel. That's when we can prove alternating angles, corresponding angles, or co-interior angles. But a fourth way that we can use to prove that two lines are parallel is by proving midpoint theorem. So in this case, we do not have any angle sizes, so none of the first three are applicable, but we have a line BC that bisects two sides of the triangle. And once we see that, it has to be parallel to the third side of the triangle, and our reason would be midpoint theorem. So let's go write it out. The first thing that we will write is that we saw that AC is equal to CE, and this is now because they are both radii. And then we also saw that AB is equal to BD. This was given. So therefore, BC has to be parallel to DE, and our reason for that would be midpoint theorem. So now we know that this line is parallel to that one. Then it says find the length of BC. Well, because we've proven midpoint theorem, we can use that to calculate the distance of the line or the length of the line. We know that this little line BC is half of this side of the triangle. So that is one thing that we can use. The reason why I'm thinking of that is because BC does not have enough coordinates to do distance formula, but DE does. So first I'm going to state that I know BC is half of DE, and this would be because of midpoint theorem. And then I'm just going to substitute the distance formula for DE. And we know the distance formula is x minus x squared plus y minus y squared. And then we pop that entire calculation into the calculator and we get 2 the square root of 10. And then when we round that off to 2 decimal places, we get 6,32 units. In the next part of this question, they tell us if the equation of line AE is now given, so AE is the diameter of the circle, determine the equation of the circle. Now, we have the equation of the circle's format on the formula sheet. We know that we need the radius for that formula, and we also need the midpoint of the circle. So if we go back to the diagram, it basically means that we need to figure out what coordinate C is. Now, the first thought would probably be to do midpoint theorem or midpoint calculation, but we do not have coordinate A, so it's not really possible to get C by using the midpoint formula. Now we have to think or look for another way that we could possibly calculate C. So if we look at where C is positioned, we can see that it's also a point of intersection of line AE and line BC. So if we can get the equation of line BC, the straight line, y equals mx plus c, then we can equate the two equations to one another, and then we'll be able to solve that. So for BC, we need the gradient and we need the y-intercept. So we already have the y-intercept. That was given. The only other thing that we need is the gradient. So again, we don't have enough coordinates on BC to actually calculate the gradient. but we do know that it's parallel to DE. So if we can get the gradient of DE, we can use that for BC because the gradient of parallel lines are equal. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is the gradient of DE. And we know the gradient formula is on our formula sheet. And we've got y minus y over x minus x. Once we pop that into the calculator, we get 1 over 3. And then we can say, well, therefore, the gradient of BC is also a third because DE is parallel to BC. Remember that you need to state all of your reasons. Then I also know that the full equation for line BC is a third x plus 6. We know that 6 is the y-intercept. So now we need to equate this to line AE, which they gave us. So we're going to say a third x plus 6 equals the given equation. We're going to take all the x's to the one side. And we're going to have all the whole numbers on the other side. Then we can simplify. So this gives us 17 over 15x. And on the other side, we've got 17 over 5. And then if we divide this fraction away to the right-hand side, we're going to get x equals 3. So because I'm working with two fractions, on the calculator, I would literally just type in the blue fraction, divide by this red fraction. It's just a bit easier. I would not put the fraction over another fraction on the calculator, because sometimes we type it in incorrectly. And that then means that we can get the y coordinate as well now. So I'm going to use the original equation that they gave me, and I'm just going to substitute 3 into that equation. It might just be a little bit safer. And then we get y7. So that then means that the full coordinate of C is going to be 3 and 7. And that also means that our equation for our circle is this. And now the last step would be to calculate R. To get R, we just need to sub in a coordinate into the place of x and y. So that means we need to find another coordinate. So we'll go back to our diagram and check, do we see a coordinate on our circle? And yes, we do. We've got coordinate E on the circle there, and we're just going to sub this into the places of x and y. So when we do, we'll have 8 minus 3 squared plus 3 minus 7 squared equals radius squared. We're not going to do the square root on the left-hand side. We're going to keep it as radius squared because that is the format of the circle. And then we've got x minus 3 squared plus y minus 7 squared equals 41. 7 marks. Okay, the last question says determine the coordinates of B. So there is a very long way to do it, or a bit of a shorter way. Let's go back to the diagram. So we now know that C has got a coordinate, and this coordinate is 3 and 7. And we know that it is the midpoint of AE. So we can actually use the inspection method to check what coordinate A would be. And then we know that B is the midpoint of AD. So then we can use midpoint formula again. So the first thing that I noticed that the movement in X from E to C is 5 units. So if I now have another 5-unit movement, then I would get to -2. And then if I check the Y movement, it was a +4. And then if I add another 4 units, I would get to 11 for A. So that's one thing I'll definitely write down. And then I can do the same for B. except I'm going to check what is halfway between -4 and -2. So that would be -3, and halfway between -1 and +11, and that is going to be 5 for the y. So you can go and write out the midpoint formula if you want. That's also on the formula sheet, and then you're going to work back to a, which is -2 and 11. We saw that. And then we are going to get b, which is -3 and 5. And you could have used the midpoint formula because this is the midpoint of line AD.